Thank you for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, taking a stand. A student in Canada suspended by his Catholic high school after he opposes its transgender policy. 16-year-old Christian Josh Alexander telling CBN News about his case and what he sees happening.
Our freedom of religion is under attack. God's natural order is under attack. The family unit in general is being attacked from every angle, and they're starting with the youth.
The fallout from the major leak of highly classified U.S. military documents and what it could mean.
Russia now has a greater insight into how we collect intelligence against them. And that's, to me, the more concerning thing here.
As violence has rocked Iran, thousands have fled the country seeking refuge in Armenia and also finding the gospel.
Those that are coming from Iran are so excited to meet a Christian and to listen.
A Studio 5 look at Roma Downey's new movie, A Wing and a Prayer, telling the incredible story of a passenger who has to land a plane because the pilot died on takeoff.
This is what I'm interested in. Films that reach out and offer people hope and inspiration. And a story like this, I think, does that.
And how this Christian influencer is sharing Bible verses with those who might not otherwise hear them through TikTok. Those stories and more today on CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
We begin this half hour with the ongoing controversy over transgender policies. The latest move, the governor of North Dakota signing 2 bills Tuesday, effectively forbidding transgender girls and women from joining female sports teams in public schools and colleges. At least 19 other states have also imposed restrictions on transgender athletes. But in Washington, the Biden administration is proposing a rule giving broad protections to transgender athletes in public schools. The heated debate over transgender policy in public school isn't limited to the United States. In Canada, a Catholic high school recently suspended a student for opposing its transgender policy. The student says it's a case of religious freedom under attack. CBN's Gary Lane is on this story.
Canadian student Josh Alexander took a stand against his Catholic high school's transgender bathroom policy, and now his story is going viral.
Our freedom of religion is under attack. God's natural order is under attack. The family unit in general is being attacked from every angle, and they're starting with the youth.
Josh says his ordeal began last October at St. Joseph's Catholic High School in Renfrew, Ontario. Since he believes God created only 2 sexes, Josh refused to use the preferred pronouns of 2 transgender students.
Female students in the school informed me that male students were using the female washrooms, and they were concerned by this. So I decided to talk about that. I voiced my beliefs, and I expressed concern to the principal. A female student also expressed concern to the principal, and we were both ignored.
The principal's response prompted Josh to organize a student demonstration outside the school. Just 2 days before the protest, however, he received an indefinite suspension from classes. When Josh returned for the next semester, school officials arrested him for trespassing.
Were you hateful or disrespectful? What tone did you take when you said what you did?
No, I wasn't disrespectful at all. I voiced my beliefs, my sincere beliefs, and I never directed at a specific trans student that was doing anything. I don't condone their behavior, but I also sympathize with them because they're a victim of our society and our education system and the terrible parents that have encouraged and pushed that on their children.
Josh says instead he felt disrespected for his Christian beliefs.
I was called a racist, a sexist, a bigot by staff and students were involved in this stuff. And I just continued to voice my beliefs, and I had ended up getting me arrested. There was conditions they wanted me to agree to in order to return to school. As a Christian, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to accept the falsehood. I'm not going to go along with the mainstream narrative that is completely contrary to God's natural order.
Canada's Liberty Defense Fund sued the Renfrew County Catholic District School Board on behalf of Josh.
But hopefully we can find a resolution and move on, and that the safety of our female students would be taken a little more seriously, and our freedom of expression would be defended rather than attacked by our education system.
And Josh was arrested a second time, not for trespassing at the school, but for protesting a community library drag queen storybook hour similar to this one.
my faith plays a fairly large role in it. I'm not going to silence myself. We're told to go into the world and preach the gospel, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
Congress has FBI Director Christopher Wray in the spotlight over a memo that linked traditional Catholics and white supremacist groups. That is according to The Hill. The memo was later withdrawn, and it talked of tracking interactions between white supremacists and local churches. It also proposed meeting with church leaders on how to spot the warning signs of radicalization. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan has subpoenaed Director Wray to testify on the issue. In March, Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley asked Attorney General Merrick Garland point blank about infiltrating churches.
How many informants do you have in Catholic churches across America?
I don't know, and I don't believe we have any informants aimed at Catholic churches. We have a rule against investigations based on First Amendment activity, and Catholic churches are obviously First Amendment.
FBI Director Wray also recently said the agency is looking at how the memo happened and making sure something like this does not happen again. But Republicans still have questions. Also in Washington, the Biden administration is on full damage control after that online leak of highly classified U.S. military documents. The White House admitting it does not know who released the documents or if there could be more. CBN national security correspondent Caitlin Burke is on the story.
This leak includes dozens of secret briefing slides for top officials, along with other highly classified information. In addition to revealing intelligence on our adversaries, there was also intel on our allies. Among the most potentially damaging deals with the war in Ukraine, secrets the Biden administration wanted to keep.
It is not intended for public consumption, and it should not be out there. What we're going to try to do is do the best we can to figure out how this happened.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby admits the White House doesn't know how many more documents are out there or who's behind the breach. For now, the Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation, and the rest of the administration is on damage control.
They were somewhere in the web, and where exactly and who had access at that point, we don't know. We simply don't know at this point. So. And again, I won't speculate, Andrea. I will tell you that we take this very seriously, and we will continue to investigate and turn over every rock until we find the source of this and the extent of it.
We have engaged with allies and partners at high levels over the past days, including to reassure them about our own commitment to safeguarding intelligence and, of course, our commitment to our security partnerships.
The Pentagon expressed concern that some of the leaked intel appears to have been altered, and administration officials have been slow to confirm the validity of the documents.
As these documents circulate online, I would like to highlight that they present a very serious risk to national security and have the potential to spread disinformation.
There's some speculation that Russia is behind the leak. The Kremlin, however, has not taken responsibility, commenting only that it's common to blame Russia for everything.
Russia now has a greater insight into how we collect intelligence against them. And that's, to me, the more concerning thing here.
We're going to get to the bottom of this, and then if there's actions that need to be taken as we learn more about the extent of what happened here, we'll obviously take those.
These leaks represent the most damaging breach of U.S. intelligence in a decade, and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are among those demanding answers from the Biden administration. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer requesting Congress be briefed as the investigation continues to unfold. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Coming up, thousands of people are fleeing persecution in Iran and flooding into the tiny country of Armenia. We're going to hear how hundreds of them are coming to faith in Jesus Christ. We've got the story for you when we come back. Hundreds of protesters have been killed in Iran as security forces crack down on women who violate Islamic dress codes. And thousands of schoolgirls have been injured in mysterious poison gas attacks. Many Iranians are fleeing their country and seeking refuge in Armenia, where a group of Christians is waiting to meet them. Chuck Holton has this story.
A groundbreaking cultural shift is underway across Iran. Months of protests against the regime have been brutally repressed by police, leaving more than 500 dead. Hundreds of girls' schools have seen their students hospitalized in a wave of poisonings. All the fear and uncertainty has left many looking for an escape. Thousands are now fleeing north to one of the only free and democratic countries in the region, Armenia.
There are a lot of global geopolitical conflicts that are represented in this remote border crossing you see in Iran right behind me. You have Russia, which does a lot of trade with Iran. A lot of the weapons that end up in Ukraine may come through this area. And you also have Azerbaijan, which wants this corridor in order to reach Turkey and the West. And right in the middle of it all, you have this tiny country of Armenia, which is functioning as a safe spot for Christians and other Iranians who are fleeing persecution inside their country.
And then right here you see this river. It's called the Araks River. And the Araks River is basically the border between Armenia and Iran. And if you go a little farther to the west, it's the border also from Turkey and Armenia.
And this is the only border crossing between Iran and Armenia,
That's
right?
correct. This is the only border crossing that Iranians coming in, they can come into Armenia only at this spot. So it's illegal in Iran to proselytize. So as a Christian, you're not able to go to Iran legally to share the Christian faith. And you're not even allowed to have a Persian Bible. It's illegal to have the Bible in the Persian language. So what we have found is that the Persians come to Christian Armenia, and they're coming to look for what Christianity is. Find a church, find a Bible, ask questions. And because this is the only border crossing and that they're able to, we find that thousands pass every single day.
And how receptive are they to the gospel?
Those that are coming from Iran are so excited to meet a Christian and to listen. And in fact, we have seen many, hundreds have come to faith in Jesus Christ. It's just that they need to hear. They need to have someone that is a preacher, an evangelist, to teach them and show them that. And they're so eager to read a Bible as well, as they're not allowed to have those in Iran.
But the journey can be full of risk. This bus full of Iranians caught fire while ascending the treacherous mountain road en route to Armenia's capital, Yerevan. Fortunately, there were no injuries. Even still, greater concern to those coming here is that even after leaving Iran, their family and friends back home may be in danger.
I, myself, was beaten 4 years ago in Shiraz University because of hijab, because I took off my scarf. In Iran, women are, suffering a lot because there are a lot of rapes, a lot of harassment, and it is normal. It has been normal. No one understands that it is harassment, it is rape. No one understands it. They say it's normal. You're a woman, so you must obey.
As conflict in Iran persists, Jacob and his team are bracing for an increased number of refugees seeking shelter here. And while Armenia faces its own ongoing problems with Azerbaijan, more Russians and Ukrainians are arriving in the country, fleeing that ongoing conflict. And no matter where they hail from, Jacob and his team welcome all with open arms.
Pray that the Lord would send his lost sheep from Iran to Armenia so that they would find him, the good shepherd of the sheep, and that he would send these people to our church and to churches like us that are doing these outreaches.
From Iran's border with Armenia, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Still ahead, Roma Downey's new film tells a true story of a passenger forced to land a plane because the pilot dies on takeoff. And that passenger's family is on board for the wild ride. We're going to bring you a look at this story from Studio 5. It's on A Wing and a Prayer right after this. Welcome back to CBN NewsWatch. The film On a Wing and a Prayer is based on an actual true story. A passenger forced to land the plane after the pilot dies after the plane takes off. And that happens with his family on board. See what happens when fear takes a back seat to faith and prayer. Filmmaker Roma Downey and the real-life hero give us an inside look.
96 Bravo, Bravo. Enter the pattern on left downwind.
Appreciate you sacrificing your Easter Sunday just to fly us home.
You're welcome to ride up front.
Looks like a space shuttle.
That Mooney's waiting to taxi.
Turn your headset. You can listen to me talk to air traffic control.
From the traffic in sight.
You scare them with your feet.
So, Doug, let me begin with you. I know that you turned down interviews from Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, and you turned down film offers. Why this one? Why did you say yes?
Because most of those interviews requests came within 24 to 48 hours after the incident. I really wasn't in the mood to talk to anybody for a year, to be honest with you about it.
Climate maintain 14,000.
Aren't you supposed to repeat back what he just... Joe. Miami Center. Is anyone there?
Say your tail number and intention.
Doug, what's going on?
I've got an emergency up here. My wife and daughters are on this plane.
And why this script and this team to bring your story to light?
Brian Egston, the writer, got a hold of me, said, I'm a beginning pilot and I'm a Christian and I'm a screenwriter. Would you be interested? Would you care if I wrote a script about this? I said, no, I don't care if you do. And he showed me a copy of the script, and I liked it. And like I said, I trusted him, and I said, all right, go sell it.
I need you to stop a plane crash. You're the only person I know who can save them.
Have you flown a King Air?
Never.
So the script ended up on my desk, and I read the script, and I was just so impacted by the story. I thought it was a brilliant story. I couldn't believe that it was a true story. It actually had happened.
Start easing off of those controls. Can you do that?
We got a real good co-pilot up here.
We got Dennis Quaid involved, Heather Graham, we got Sean McNamara on board to direct. Honestly, it has turned out so well. I really believe that audiences, general audiences everywhere will be touched and inspired by it, but particularly audiences of faith will be reminded once again of the power of prayer and how extraordinary our God is. They reached out to the Lord and they landed this plane, and I think that it's a story of hope and inspiration that we need now more than ever.
An incredible story indeed. And Doug, I think I've heard you say that if you were going to die, you were going to do everything you could to try not to. What held your peace, and let alone your peace, but the family's peace in the back?
Landing gear down.
I got it. I'm looking for the emergency procedures.
No doubt we're going to need it.
Family was in the back praying, and so there was divine intervention helping me. You're not thinking about dying, you're thinking about surviving.
How in the world did you find me?
I'll explain once we get you on the ground.
During the event, you have to stay focused. People handle it different, I guess. Some people would scream and holler and throw their hands up and we're going to die or whatever, but that just wasn't the way I was geared up to do it. I was going to try anyway.
Roma, you've done a beautiful job with the film. What were you thinking when you were listening to the real-life recordings of his conversation with air traffic control? What were you thinking as you're hearing that?
Well, I couldn't believe what I was listening to.
It's real bad up here. I can't control this airplane.
Doug, listen. My family was in a similar situation to the one that you're in right now. I couldn't do anything for them.
But the part of the story that really touched me, I think of the symbolism of the other things that I'm trying to land in my life, projects I'm trying to make, issues with my family, anywhere that I'm just trying to, to bring something in, that I'm praying something in. And I think that this film, the symbolism is layered in there for an audience to find. And that's what I love about stories like this. And as a storyteller and a filmmaker, a producer, this is what I'm interested in. Films that reach out and offer people hope and inspiration. And a story like this, I think, does that. Because while we may never be in the position that Doug was in, and we may never have to show the courage that Doug showed, there are many things in our lives that we're praying in. And I think at the end of this movie where he has to let go.
Make sure you're buckled up back there.
There's a line up there, I think you said, Doug, that was you and the good Lord flying the plane, right? And I think, in my own life, I think of all the planes that me and the good Lord are flying. And I hope that that's one of the many things that an audience who watch On a Wing and a Prayer this Easter weekend on Prime will take away.
He is never going to make that.
I love you, girl.
You can do it.
Sometimes you gotta trust in things you can't see.
On a Wing and a Prayer, again, is based on a true story, and the real-life hero story is now streaming on Amazon Prime. For more uplifting entertainment, I encourage you to join us for Studio 5 tonight. Tonight, we're going to go behind the scenes of the film Praise This. We're also taking a look back at an Italian journey with Andrea Bocelli. And then we are heading to a new film from Angel Studios. It is called The Sound of Freedom. You can catch all of this on Studio 5 tonight. It begins at 8:30 Eastern. You can find it on the CBN News Channel. You can also find it on the CBN News app and watch it on YouTube. Coming up, how one Christian influencer is spreading the word of God using social media, TikTok, in fact. We're going to bring you the story when we come back. Stay with us.
Save me, for I serve you and trust you.
Speaking scripture through social media, a Christian influencer is doing just that by sharing Bible verses on TikTok. Destiny Albritton, who goes by Destiny the Wonderful, started sharing Bible content during the pandemic to inspire hope, reaching people who don't usually read the Bible through short 15-second videos. Destiny's TikTok now has more than 12 million likes, and she says she hopes the readings help people make God's Word part of their daily lives. Time now for today's word, your Wednesday word, and today's word is joy. With that, I'm reminded of the lyrics of a song. Joy, joy, God's great joy. Sweet, beautiful, soul-saving joy. Oh, joy, it floods my soul. The first verse of that song says this: early in the morning before the break of day, I ask the Lord to make me whole. He holds me and the Lord keeps me. Oh, joy, joy in my soul. May this be your story today and every day, and may today be a wonderful Wednesday. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of CBN News Watch. You can always find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com, both available anytime. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today or any day. You can email us. That address is right there at the bottom of your screen, newswatch@cbn.com. And, of course, you can always reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We certainly would love to hear from you. Again, make it a wonderful Wednesday. Join us right back here tomorrow, same time. Goodbye and God bless.